Okay, a few days ago, I'm walking through my school like I normally do, heading to my next class, which just so happened to be halfway across the building. That being math, specifically Algebra 2. Now, since today's our second day coming back from school, and we run by block schedule, this is my first day in this class. So naturally, I'm wondering, what are we going to do in math for the first day? Hopefully not math, I would hate that. Thankfully, I am the bearer of good news. We didn't do any math and the school somehow isn't cruel like that. However, the teacher decided to replace it with something I arguably disliked even more. That being the paper tower. For those of you who don't know what the paper tower is, it's basically an experiment to build teamwork and all that stuff. You're given a few pieces of paper and some other materials to build a paper tower as high as you possibly can without knocking it over. It's really tedious, and I've always hated it. About 5 minutes after class started, the teacher started to tell us what we would be doing, and as she progressively went through her explanation, I slowly and eventually realized that we were doing the paper tower.
Oh no.
I subsequently got grouped into a team of 5 people. Each of us were responsible for one collective tower. And let me be the first to tell you, we had absolutely zero idea what we were doing. First of all, paper is not the best building material. I don't think that needs much proof, and if you don't believe me, go find out for yourself. See how far you'll get. I will be there to laugh in your face when it fails. Along with the paper, we also got 4 paper clips and 3 pieces of tape. It wasn't much to work with, but those things were definitely better than the paper, so we took them. Once our time started, we immediately started brainstorming what we should do, except no, we didn't. We were actually all shy idiots who didn't like talking to each other, so we actually didn't do a lot of brainstorming and just immediately tried to build the first thing that came to our minds. Which happened to be my idea. Not exactly the best course of action, but, here we are, I guess. My idea was pretty simple. Unravel each of the paper clips so that way they were just a long stick of metal, crumple up the paper into a long tube thing, and stab the wire through the top or bottom of the paper to eventually make a skewer tower. On paper, that really wasn't a bad idea, considering that kind of thing is used to make sculpted cakes or something like that. But the way we executed it was subpar at best. The paper did not want to work with us. There were a few times I would have to push way too hard to get a wire in. And while we did eventually get the tower to stand, it looked pitiful in comparison to other towers, who, mind you, had gone a much simpler way of doing things. They were literally just taping the pieces of paper together to make columns and then stacking them on top of each other. I'm actually not sure why we didn't do that in the first place. Whatever the case, we did manage to finish the tower and found out that it stood at a whopping height of 15 inches. Yep, I was disappointed too. Considering everyone else had a tower that was about twice the size of ours, it wasn't looking good for us. Thankfully, we had another piece of paper we could use before it could be topped off. I managed to find a good place for it that would simply sit inside the top of the tower, and just like that, we had increased the height of the tower by 7 inches. The timer had gone off, and we had a record-breaking tower of 22 inches, less than half of the record for the tallest tower. We did so well, and now my self-esteem has plummeted to a new low. This is why math is my least favorite class. Well, this is a new format. I hope that the few people that see this liked the animations. Shout out to the 4 people in the group who will most likely never see this video. Alright, goodbye.